starting to record. Okay. So for homework, you had one of the exercises that was this, very similar to what we've already done. The one with iš Amerikos, iš Washingtono, iš Anglijos, iš Londono. And now we had this exercise where it was about where your friend lives, not where he is from, but where he lives, or he, she, they live. So let's take a look. I will ask every one of you to do three countries, three capitals, so that, because we have a lot of them here. So Alexei, would you want to start?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mano draugas gyvena Anglijoje, Londone.
Mm-hmm.
Mano draugas gyvena Airijoje, Dubline. Mano
Taip.
draugas gyvena Austrijoje, Vienoje.
Mm-hmm. Labai gerai. Yeah, Airijoje. It's that case that's always oje, Anglijoje, Airijoje, Austrijoje, Londone, Dubline, Vienoje. Yeah, us is the only one that doesn't have anything going on with those oje, eje, ije, and so on. Okay, Juris, Baltarusija, Belgija, Čekija.
Mano draugas gyvena Baltarusijoje,
Mm-hmm.
Minske,
Taip, puikiai. Mm-hmm.
Belgijoje,
Mm-hmm.
Bruselyje,
Taip, gerai.
Čekijoje,
Mhm.
Prahoje.
Taip, puikiai, idealiai, labai gerai. Jun, Danija, Estija, Islandija.
Danijoje, Kopenhagoje,
Mhm, taip, gerai.
Estijoje i Tallinne,
Mhm, puikiai.
Islandijoje
Mhm.
i Reykjavik.
Taip, puikiai. Yeah, this one, like I've already told you, I have heard many variants how people pronounce it. So for Lithuanians, I don't think it's that important. Some say Reykjavik, some say Reykjavik, some say Reykjavik. I've heard many. So like, it looks scary, but it's like people also don't really. I don't think pay attention to how you stress it. Alexei, Ispania, Italia, Japonia.
Mano draugas gyvena Ispanijoje, Madride.
Mhm.
Mano draugas gyvena Italijoje, Romoje.
Taip, taip.
Mano draugas gyvena Japonijoje, Tokijuje.
Taip, Tokijas is an exception. That in locative case, otherwise it declines like everything else, but in locative case it will be uye instead of like tokiye. I think it kind of makes sense given that there's this J letter. When you see any I letter I, so in Lithuanian we call it E, or this one which we call Yot or J, this is usually when it's likely that there's gonna be like something with sounds are not gonna go well together, and then like it's gonna something unexpected may happen when you see those. But yeah, that's when you're declining, it's like Tokyo, and so on, like nothing. No, otherwise it's just this case. Okay, the other one, Juris, Canada, Kenya, Colombia.
Mano draugas gyvenoja Kanadoje,
Taip,
Ottavoje,
taip.
Kinijuje,
Taip.
so like Tokijuje. Yes? But
Kinijoje. Oje.
Kinijoje.
Taip.
Okay, there's A. Okay.
There's oje.
Yeah. Kinijoje. Okay. Pekine.
Taip, gerai.
And Kolumbijoje. And Bogotoje.
Taip, labai gerai.
Bogotoje.
Yeah, like
Bogotoje.
Kinijoje,
Yeah,
Kanadoje, Bogotoje. Colombia is actually that Southern American country where we had a pretty big diaspora, and even this Di Julis family. I don't know if you've ever heard, there used to be a band in Culto, and they had Jurgis Di Julis, who's like from this big family that they like settled in Colombia a long time ago. So that country stands out for us when it comes to diasporas a little bit. Okay, Jun, Latvija, Lenkija, Lietuva.
Latvijoje
Taip,
ir Rygoje,
taip,
Lenkijoje ir Varšuvoje,
taip, gerai.
Lietuvoje ir Vilniuje.
Taip, puikiai, puikiai. Lenkija, when you see the capital city next to it, it's easier to guess. Poland. Norvegija, Portugalija, Prancūzija, Aleksej.
Mano draugas gyvena Norvegijoje, Osle,
Taip,
Portugalijoje, Lisabonoje,
taip,
Prancūzijoje, Paryžiuje.
taip,
Paryžiuje.
taip, gerai. Norway also, especially in Norway, we have a big diaspora, which is why sometimes if you know what it is in Norwegian, Norway, sometimes people will say Norge, Norgeja, jis dirba Norgeja in spoken. So we kind of adopted it a little bit as well. Okay, Rusija, Suomija, Švedija, Juris.
Rusijoje, Maskvoje, Suomijoje, Helsinkoje,
Taip, Helsinkija,
Helsinkyje,
Taip.
Švedijoje, Stokholme.
Taip, puikiai, puikiai. Jun, Turkija, Ukraina, Vengrija.
Turkijoje i Ankaroje,
Puikiai.
Ukrainoje i Kijeve,
Taip,
Vengrijoje i Budapešte.
taip, labai gerai, labai gerai. Proud of you all. Very good. And then we have the last one. Vokietija, Vokietijoje, Berlynas, Berlyne. Or Berline, Berlin. I think Berline we would most likely, people would say Berline, not Berlin or something. Berline, Vokietijoje, Berline. Okay, then what we had from homework, that was, I think, reading. And it was people talking, was it this one? I think.
Yeah, this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically a dialogue, and then where Pierres is from, what language he speaks, and so on. Now, you can switch off the mics and repeat after me. I will slowly read this, so those phrases kind of come to you, and you can practice pronouncing. Yeah, so we have Rita and Viktoras, they're talking, and now I will start reading the dialogue. Labas, Viktorai. Labas, Rita. Kaip sekasi? Ačiū, gerai. O tau? Taip pat gerai. Čia Pieras iš Prancūzijos. Malonu, Rita. Malonu. Ar jūs esate iš Paryžiaus? Ne. Iš Lilio. Jūs kalbate lietuviškai? Truputį kalbu. Ar jūs kalbate prancūziškai? Aš nekalbu prancūziškai, bet truputį suprantu. Ar jūs studijuojate Lietuvoje? Taip, aš studijuoju Lietuvoje, Vilniuje. Ar jūs taip pat studijuojate Vilniuje? Ne, aš studijuoju Anglijoje, Londone. Aš taip pat. Okay, so Pieras yra iš Paryžiaus. We have teisingas, correct, neteisingas, not correct. So neteisingas. Pieras nėra iš Paryžiaus, nėra. Iš kur Pieras yra? This was not one of the questions, but
Iš Lilio?
Iš Lilio. Pieras yra iš Lilio. Jis nėra iš Paryžiaus, jis yra iš Lilio. Pieras kalba lietuviškai. Teisingas ar neteisingas?
Neteisinga.
Teisingas.
Kodėl? Why teisingas? Kodėl neteisingas?
Pieras kalba truputį.
Okay. Yeah, jis kalba truputį lietuviškai. Yeah, we have like, some people when they speak a little bit, they will say, I speak that language. And some people will say that they don't speak the language. But yeah, like he speaks, the dialogue is in Lithuanian. I think what's happening here is that typical, like when person knows a language, but they feel a lot of pressure when they're speaking it, like they're crunching the grammar, crunching the vocabulary, everything, trying to compute the language, and then it feels stressful, and then you say truputį kalbu. Also a good phrase, when you're afraid that people will get very excited, start speaking fast, start asking you very complicated questions, like very long sentences, complicated sentences, and you say truputį kalbu, and then they're like, okay, like I'm gonna try to pace myself. Maybe that's what Pieras was going for. Then we have Rita kalba prancūziškai. Teisingas ar neteisingas?
Neteisingas.
Neteisingas. Rita nekalba prancūziškai, bet truputį supranta. Truputį supranta. That's a bit like me. Pieras yra studentas. Teisingas, neteisingas?
Teisingas.
Taip. Kur Pieras studijuoja? Kur Pieras studijuoja?
Vilniuje?
Taip, Vilniuje, Lietuvoje. Rita studijuoja Vilniuje. Teisingas ar neteisingas?
Neteisingas.
Taip. Rita nestudijuoja Vilniuje. Kur Rita studijuoja? Kur Rita studijuoja?
Anglijoje, Londone?
Taip, Londone. Victoras, so this Victoras guy, somehow I forgot he exists. I was like, Rita, Pieras, yeah, somehow didn't realize he's here still. Victoras studijuoja Anglijoje. Ar teisingas, ar neteisingas? Ar Viktoras studijuoja Anglijoje?
Teisingas.
Teisingas.
Taip, teisingas. Jis sako taip pat. He's saying, yeah, me too. Aš taip pat. Okay. Then my exercise you had in the grammar document. Give me a little second. I will share it with you. It was also a couple of texts that I added to you. Okay, so I'm going to share now that tab. So we have it. Yeah, so we had, this is very phone version. Okay, now it should be fine. And then there was reading, location, reading. Yeah, here we go. So you also had some explanations for words. I tried to include something like, oh no, it's still sharing the main. Wait, I'm gonna reshare it. Now it should be fine. Okay, now it's working. So we had skaitimas, reading comprehension, and yeah, sometimes I will give you these texts that they're a bit advanced for us yet. Like they're kind of like our grammar, our topic, but it could be that there are some like other words that we have not really studied. And it's fine that you don't understand everything. That's why I include those, other those definitions, just so you get used to that language a little bit, and kind of like to challenge also, so that it's not like always in our comfort zone. And usually we end up like coming across those topics or that vocabulary sometime soon. Okay, so we had a text, a couple of texts, and one was mano draugai, my friends. This is plural. Mano kaimynai, my neighbors. So I will read them again, and maybe if you want, you can again repeat after me, like if that helps, to practice articulation and like speaking that language, so that it doesn't feel like, slippery slope when you're speaking, actually. And yeah, so I will read it. Right now, the first text. Mano draugai. Mano draugai yra iš skirtingų šalių. Jonas yra iš Lietuvos. Jis kalba lietuviškai ir supranta angliškai. Jonas nėra iš miesto. Jis yra iš kaimo. Anna yra iš Prancūzijos. Ji kalba prancūziškai ir ispaniškai. Anna supranta šiek tiek lietuviškai. Ji nėra iš Paryžiaus, ji yra iš mažo miesto, pietų Prancūzijos. Tada yra Markas. Jis yra iš Jungtinių Amerikos valstijų arba JAV. You can just say JAV. Markas kalba angliškai ir supranta truputį vokiškai. Jis yra iš saulėtos Kalifornijos. Mano draugai yra labai draugiški. Aš esu iš Vilniaus ir kalbu lietuviškai ir tuteišiškai. Kartais mes visi susitinkame. Yeah, so I wanted to include this tuteiši because it's a pretty specific Vilnius region thing. Like not specifically even the city, but they speak this mixture of Polish, nowadays Russian, Lithuanian, Belarusian, like kind of this mixture of anything that could have happened in the region. And it's actually it's a pretty old like mix of languages that exists. People think that this was kind of like it happened nowadays, but it's pretty old. So just as someone from Vilnius, I wanted to include that. Okay, so mano draugai. And we had some questions, comprehension questions. And teksto supratimo klausimai. Tekstas vienas. Iš kur yra Jonas? Kaip jis kalba? Iš kur yra Jonas? Kaip jis kalba?
Jonas yra iš Lietuvos
Taip.
ir kalba lietuviškai. Lietuviškai.
Taip, lietuviškai supranta angliškai. Ar Anna yra iš Paryžiaus? Iš kur ji yra? Ar Anna yra iš Paryžiaus?
Ne.
Taip, iš kur?
Ji yra pietų Prancūzijos.
Taip, ji yra iš pietų Prancūzijos, iš mažo miesto, from a small town. Taip, pietų Prancūzijos. Yeah, maybe I will include at some point these cardinal directions, but for now, not yet. But yeah, they're like, especially if you want to say which part of the country, that's useful. Okay. Kaip kalba Anna? Ar ji supranta lietuviškai? Kaip kalba Anna? Ar ji supranta lietuviškai? Kaip kalba Ana?
Ji kalba prancūziškai ir ispaniškai.
Taip.
Ir supranta šiek tiek lietuviškai.
Taip. Šiek tiek is a synonym for truputį. Truputį. Šiek tiek, truputį, nedaug. That's also like not much. Okay. Kitas klausimas. Next question. Iš kur yra Markas? Ar jis yra iš Niujorko? Iš kur yra Markas? Ar jis yra iš Niujorko?
Markas iš Kalifornijos.
Taip, iš Kalifornijos. And this can look threatening, Jungtinių Amerikos valstijų, especially when you also have to decline it when you're talking. But Lithuanians just say JAV. JAV, that's our USA. JAV. Or like the US, USA, we say JAV. JAV. Jis yra iš JAV, jis yra iš Kalifornijos. So from the opposite. Iš kur yra teksto autorius? Kaip jis kalba? Iš kur yra teksto autorius? Kaip jis kalba?
Iš Vilniaus
Taip. Taip.
ir kalba lietuviškai ir tuteišiškai.
Yeah. Usually, actually, when they say tuteišiškai, that's very like honest. I would say that people who are like from small towns and rural areas of Vilnius region would probably say that, but in Vilnius they will say that they speak Lenkiškai, that they speak Polish. And then people think that this does not qualify for Polish. So yeah, it's a complicated, but it's very typical for Vilnius region. Ar Jonas yra iš miesto? Kodėl? Kodėl is why, and I'm asking here not why is he from, like where he is from, but why you think he is. So, ar Jonas yra iš miesto? Ar Jonas yra iš miesto?
Jonas nėra iš miesto, jis yra iš kaimo.
Taip, jis yra iš kaimo. He's from village or like countryside. That's also a way to say that you're from a countryside. I will maybe add that. So from a countryside. Okay, and then we have kaip tu kalbi ir supranti. So this was a question for you. So maybe let's repeat once again what languages we speak here. So, Jun, kaip tu kalbi ir supranti? You, yes, you. Taip tu.
Aš kalbu prancūziškai, angliškai, lietuviškai.
Truputį.
Korėjiškai.
Korėjietiškai. Taip, so basically Korean, korėjietis, korėjietė, right? And as a result, the language will korėjietiškai.
Okay, cool. Oh my God. You told me last time.
Yeah.
Divo? Oh my God, like, how do you say my God?
Oh yeah, o Dieve.
Oh, Dieve, yeah.
O Dieve.
And aš suprantu, korėjietiškai, prancūziškai, angliškai, ispaniškai.
Taip, ispaniškai. Yeah. Gerai. Juris, kaip tu kalbi ir supranti?
Aš kalbu latviškai, angliškai, vokietiškai.
Vokiškai, that's the...
Vokiškai.
Yeah. Gerai. Aleksej, kaip tu supranti, kalbi?
Aš kalbu rusiškai, angliškai, vokiškai, ispaniškai ir suprantu itališkai, portugališkai,
Yeah.
ukrainiškai, baltarusiškai.
Ukrainietiškai.
Ukrainietiškai,
Mhm.
baltarusiškai,
Yeah.
ir šiek tiek prancūziškai.
Yeah. I feel for anybody who is speaks more languages and gets asked that question. I don't know, Alexei, did you forget any language? Because it happens to me sometimes. And then people
I
realize that I
didn't
understood
include
something and they're like, you lied.
I didn't include the languages where I know just a couple of words, so I
Yeah.
don't really understand them.
Yeah, you have as linguists nowadays call it, linguistic resources. It's like you can count uno, dos, tres, and that's your linguistic resource. You can use it. It doesn't mean that you speak language as a whole, but you have the resources as such. Okay. Gerai, kitas tekstas. The other text, I will read it right now again slowly so you can follow. Also repeat if you wish. Okay. Mano kaimynai. My neighbors. Mano kaimynai yra iš viso pasaulio. Elena yra iš Italijos. Ji kalba itališkai, prancūziškai ir ispaniškai, truputį portugališkai. Elena supranta angliškai, bet nekalba labai gerai. Ji yra iš Romos, bet dabar gyvena Kaune, Lietuvoje. Tomas yra iš Lenkijos. Jis kalba lenkiškai ir čekiškai. Tomas supranta lietuviškai, nes jau keletą metų gyvena čia. Jis nėra iš Varšuvos, bet yra iš mažo kaimelio. Dar yra Sofija, ji yra iš Brazilijos. Sofija kalba portugališkai ir šiek tiek supranta prancūziškai. Ji nėra iš didmiesčio, bet yra iš kaimo prie San Paulo. Aš esu iš Klaipėdos ir kalbu lietuviškai ir angliškai. Dar suprantu rusiškai. Mes visi esame skirtingi, bet mes esame geri draugai. So, one maybe grammatical thing. I don't know where's didelis miestas, didmiestis, so big city. This is for future. It's gonna start bothering us later, but when you see here didmiesčio, so what happened here is again that I letter, there's T-I-S. When you see T-I-S ending, then in genitive it's always gonna have che. It's just this rule that tends to occur. Okay, so question time. Supratimo klausimai, tekstas numeris 2. Iš kur yra Elena? Kaip ji kalba? Iš kur yra Elena? Kaip ji kalba?
Elena yra
Elena.
iš Italijos.
Iš Italijos. Kaip ji kalba?
Kalba itališkai.
Ne tik itališkai, not only Italian, prancūziškai.
Prancūziškai ir ispaniškai, truputį portugališkai.
Taip. Ar Elena gerai kalba angliškai? Kaip ji supranta? Ar Elena kalba angliškai?
Ji nekalba labai gerai angliškai.
Taip.
Ji supranta angliškai.
Taip. Ji nekalba labai gerai, bet ji supranta. So she doesn't speak very well, but she understands. Okay. Iš kur yra Tomas? Ar jis supranta lietuviškai? Iš kur yra Tomas? Ar jis supranta lietuviškai? Tomas, iš kur jis yra?
Tomas yra iš Lenkijos
Taip.
ir supranta lietuviškai.
Yeah, and nes is our because if you want to ever add like something, it can occur that you want to use this pretty early. So because he lives here for some amount of years, a couple of years, a few years. That keletas is very when Lithuanians use it, some mean 4 by that, some mean 3, so it's like kind of undefined, just like a few, like a couple years, something like that. Ar Tomas yra iš Varšuvos? Iš kur jis yra? Ar Tomas yra iš Varšuvos?
Ne, jis
Taip.
nėra iš Varšuvos.
Taip, jis yra iš mažo kaimelio. That's our diminutive for kaimas. Jis yra iš kaimo. He's from countryside, from a small village. Sometimes we use small, and also whenever you see that al, that's our diminutive suffix, and so we double down on the cuteness and endearing terms. Okay. Kaip kalba Sofija? Ar ji supranta ispaniškai? Kaip kalba Sofija? Ar ji supranta ispaniškai?
We don't know.
Nežinome. Yeah. Yeah. Sofija kalba portugališkai, šiek tiek supranta prancūziškai. Taip. Iš kur yra teksto autorius, kaip jis kalba? Iš kur yra teksto autorius, kaip jis kalba? So someone who addresses to themselves as aš.
Jis yra iš Klaipėdos ir kalba lietuviškai ir angliškai.
Taip. Ar supranta rusiškai? Ar Sofija yra iš didmiesčio? Iš kur ji yra? Ar Sofija yra iš didmiesčio?
Ji nėra iš didmiesčio.
Taip, ji yra iš kaimo prie São Paulo. Okay, so this was to write a sentence about your friend, family member, and use the genitive to say where they are from. Did you write anything? No? No. Okay. Okay, well, let's skip it this time then. I will ask you to do it the next time, and I will ask you to use also locative case, so that it's not too little. Okay, so time to move on to numbers, to numerals. So we had this. Let's go back. We already saw them, how they look, but we did not focus on them, not yet at least. So these are Lithuanian numerals. So let's try to count. And you can, again, switch off your mics and repeat after me. You know, like try to remember. If fingers help, fingers can always be very helpful. You can also check that, like use that tool too for yourself. So we have nullis, zero, nullis, vienas, du, trys, keturi, penki, šeši, septyni, aštuoni, devyni, dešimt. Now from 0 to 10. Nulis, vienas, du, trys, keturi, penki, šeši, septyni, aštuoni, devyni, dešimt. And I'm teaching you this very standard counting, especially with these. You may hear in everyday life, like if you see Lithuanian in their natural habitat, they will pronounce it in an alternative way. They will say septyni, aštuoni, 9, 7, 8, 9. So 7 versus 7, 8 versus 8, 9 versus 9. Yeah, so these are the first 10. Then we enter the teens, and the Lithuanian teens also stand out. As you can see, they all end with lika. Lika, 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 lika. That's our teen. So like 13, 14, 15, we have 13, 14, 15. So now let's count from 11 to 19. Okay? 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19. So let's count all together from 11 to 19. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then we move on to tens. So tens, they all end with dashend. If we have dashend here, this ends with dashend as well. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Let's now try to learn these. Dvidešim, 20, 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60, 60, 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90. Now from 20 to 90 again. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Now, when we want to say add some like digits, like like 45, then we just simply add one of these digits and call it a day. There's no complicated formula there. Just if it's 40 and 5, so we take these two, put them together. Let's say 45. 45. And if we count from 41 to 50, we will say 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and then 50. So that's how it works. And then we have this number, which is 100. 100. Šimtas. 100. Šimtas. And let's say we have 101. 101. 101. 101 Dalmatinas. 101 Dalmatians. 101 Dalmatinas. 101. Then if you want to add like 116, so we just use 100 and the word for 16. That's it. 116. 116. Then this šimtas a bit changes when we use, like, remember we had kaimynai, draugai, so that's just plural ending. So 200. 205. And then we have 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and then 1000 will be tūkstantis. Tūkstantis is 1000. Tūkstantis. Okay. Yeah, so these are our numerals. So these are the ones that we just remember. We have to remember somehow. Usually, I think my students are more talented than I am in this regard because they usually don't have much to trouble. Usually the fun begins in lika because people confuse 12 and 19 because they kind of sound alike. So 12, 12, 12, 19, 19. So usually these two are the top confused ones. Okay, and also of course 20, 90. So curse though D and V, and I guess they are the ones that make it confusing for people. Okay, so then we have like couple of exercises, or just one from the book that is for numerals. So we had 13, 13. So, okay, let's do it this way. So, if you have a sheet of paper or something, you can just think to yourself, I will just name these numerals, right? And then let's see if you read them correctly, like the right Arabic number popped up in your head, or Roman number, who knows. So, 13, then we have keturi,
Oh,
4,
Four.
type 17,
7,
17.
17, yeah, 7,
7,
7.
7, type 32,
32,
300.
32,
Oh, yeah, 32.
32, yeah, 12,
12,
12.
12, yeah, 28,
28,
28,
28.
yeah, 66,
66.
36,
66, 50, 5,
65,
55.
55, 81,
81.
81.
19,
19.
yeah, 20.
20.
20.
Okay,
20.
yeah, you got it. So let's now practice a little bit more.
Don't you have something like dozen also?
Yeah, we have tuzinas. Tuzinas,
Mhm.
yeah. And then we have velno tuzinas, which is like literally devil's dozen. So 13.
Mm.
That's tuzinas. Okay. So then, yeah, tuzinas. If like 12 can be confusing, then tuzinas is definitely on its own. Okay, so then I prepared like this one. If I remember correctly, I was crazy when I was making this. This was last year that I made, and it includes some math and calculating. So good luck for all of us who hate math. I hope at least some of us know. Yeah, so basically we will either sometimes we will see a number on its own, sometimes it will be mathematical equation. We will just try to practice and see those Lithuanian numerals. If you have your grammar file with you, there's skaičiai numerals, and you can have them in front of you. We use the masculine ones in general. There's another like gender attached, but that's for future. There's anxiety for future. Okay, so kiek is the question we ask, for example, if you want to say like how much, how many, kiek. But in this chapter, you're learning the numerals, so you can say an address, you can say a phone number, information like that. Okay, so let's start. Okay, penki, kart penki. Kart means like multiply. So 5 multiple of 5. And the...
25.
Taip,
25.
Taip, 20 lygu 25. You can say just 25. Lygu is equals.
Oh, no.
Yeah, lygu. 5 kart 5 lygu 25. Okay. 45.
45.
Taip, 45. 45. Okay, 4 times 9. 4 kart 9. Or 9.
36.
Lygu 36. Okay. 4 kart 9 lygu 36. 36. Okay, so here we have 12 months. So what will be 12?
12.
12. Type 12. Does anybody remember from last time, I think, the month names? January was solstice. What is the current month? Vasaris. Vasaris. Yeah, it's summer right now, basically. Vasaris, February. Kovas, balandis, gegužė. The bird names for spring. Birželis, birch tree. July, liepa, the linden tree. And then we have these agricultural 3 months, August, September, October, November, lapkritis, the leaf fall, and December, gruodis. And we have 12 of them, 12. 20.
20.
20, taip, 20. 2.
2.
We have this little, like, I don't know, it's a wordplay, what I would call it. Mano batai buvo 2, vienas dingo, nerandu, like a riddle. I had 2 shoes, so my shoes were 2, one is gone, I cannot find it. Mano batai buvo 2, vienas dingo, nerandu. 2. Okay. 1001. So, tūkstantis.
1001.
1001. Taip, 1001. Yeah, then we have 7.
7.
Yeah, 7 arba 7. As like I said, we had this show actually that I'm very sad because of like copyright arguments or something. They're off the YouTube, but they had a whole sketch about this, lottery. And there's an ordinary Lithuanian who comes and like he has to pick like some ball with a number or something, like in lottery ball. And he says like 17, and the moderator keeps correcting him and saying 17. It's like, no, 17 is 17. Like it's kind of like depends who you surround yourself with, how people will call it.
Maybe closer to Latvia is 17.
Yeah. And we have like this very standard 17 or 17. Okay. Then okay.
Just Sauli,
Yeah.
Thank you. Just a question about is the number when you're gonna say, for example, like in English, 50,000? Is it the same structure like in Lithuanian, like a penki, dešimt, tūkstantis?
Yeah, it's gonna be 50 tūkstančių. And this is already like, yeah, O Dieve.
Mhm.
And then the year we live in is 2000. Okay, 26 you can say. 2000. What's 26?
2026.
Shit, hey. 2026 is the number. 2026.
I apologize for asking this question. I will retract.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
My God.
It's okay, you know, like
I just wonder what happens with cases here, because it sounds pretty much like Russian, but like do and condition
okay,
make
like
different case.
yeah, like choose your poison. Do you want it to know right now because it's gonna become a headache later, or do you want it now? Because from 2
I
to
can
9,
Google it.
like 1 is always singular nominative. So Vienna's something like, you know. In this case, Tūkstantis is kind of like, you know, a noun. Let's treat it like a noun, okay? Then from 2 to 9, it's gonna be nominative plural. So tūkstančiai. Then we have tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, like round numbers. We're gonna have tūkstančių. That's genitive, plural genitive. Yeah, but that becomes people's headache. Like usually, like on the second half of this book, that's when it becomes a serious problem. Because you know, you have to get used to it, that it changes. Yeah, so that's what's happening, if I answered the question.
And if it's like 22
Yeah. So from 2 to 9, it's gonna be tūkstančiai. If it's like 10, 20, 12, yeah, lika, the teens, that's a good question. It's gonna be also genitive, so tūkstančių. Yeah. Okay. And now we have 5. You guys are advancing here, like it's like a first grader asking 7th grade math. So like we have 5. We're counting fingers at this point.
Penki.
Yeah, penki. But I appreciate you ask. It's just, you know, then it's difficult to stop and you get scared and lost and overwhelmed, and then like, you know.
No, I'm just asking because the schema sounds familiar, because we have something like that in Russian. Only the numbers are different.
Yeah.
And do not worry, Solly, we are already afraid, so it doesn't change anything.
No, I don't want to make you afraid. You know, if you go step by step and don't like, you know, be too harsh on yourself and try to like, oh my God, you know, I don't understand this yet. You know, everything is very step by step. And then we're gonna get it right. Okay, so we have 90.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Devyniasdešimt. Gerai. Then we have 4 muffins.
Keturi.
And then, like I already said, 101 Dalmatians. You don't have to say the word for Dalmatians, but what's 101? Šimtas vienas. Yeah, šimtas is 100.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, šimtas vienas. Okay, 1. What's 1?
Vienas. Another question about šimtas vienas. So the noun gets singular after that.
Yeah, it's just you just add the number. Šimtas vienas, šimtas du, šimtas trys.
I mean Dalmatinas and so on.
Oh yeah, nominative, yeah, singular. Always. When it's 1. Yeah, so it's like Slavic languages also, Baltic languages, that we share that feature. Yeah. Okay, 10.
Dešimt.
10, taip. 10. 13.
13.
13, taip, 13. 13. Okay, again, back to math. 9 kart 9. Or 9 kart 9.
Aštuoni.
Taip.
80.
80.
81.
Vienas.
Taip. Taip. 81. Okay, we have here 6.
6.
6. 3 kart 7. Or 3 kart 7.
21. Viena.
Taip. Or 21. 20. 20. 21. Then 2 kart 10. 2 times
20.
20 lygu 20. 8 kart 8.
60.
60.
64.
64, yeah. So I fully enforce the capacity of your brain, right brain, thinking not only the languages, but also entering the maths. But like I said, usually people pretty quickly learn the numbers with me. So maybe because I'm so insecure about numbers and maths myself, maybe I just excel in trying to explain it. Okay. Yeah. So we also have some grammar here going on today. So we learned to say, where was our locative case? So we learned to say in somewhere, like in that city, in that place. So Vilniuje, Kaune, Centre, Klaipėdoje. We have those many oje endings. But there's also a way to say, for example, and especially it is useful when we are there, let's say. Mes esame katedros aikštėje, we're at the cathedral square, and our friend, it's a big square, and there are many people, let's say, and your friends are trying to find you. And then you need to describe an object which you're standing next to, so they can recognize you if you don't describe the outfit or something. So then we have another construction that we use. And this is, again, genitive. Like I said, this is these endings, if you learn them, you're you're doing yourself a favor, because it's going to appear a lot in Lithuanian language. It's the one that most frequent case in Lithuanian. So we have here, for example, upė is river. So I live by the river. Aš gyvenu prie upės. Aš gyvenu prie upės. I live by the river, next to the river. Aš gyvenu prie upės. Then we have mes gyvename prie muziejaus. Mes gyvename prie muziejaus. We live next to the museum. So let's say if your friend wants to visit you, and they're texting you, and look, I'm in this area, I don't know where, which house is yours, and you say mes gyvename prie muziejaus. So you see museum, next to museum is our home. Then we have prezidentūra. This is our presidential palace word. Universitetas yra prie prezidentūros. Universitetas yra prie prezidentūros. The university is next to the presidential palace. In Vilnius, that is true. Universitetas yra prie prezidentūros. And then Latvija yra prie Lietuvos. Latvia yra prie Lietuvos. So Latvia is next to Lithuania, in case someone messes up. Again, confuses us for each other. The other day I got asked, someone got confused online, that our Independence Day is February 16th. They said, isn't it November 11th? I said, no, that's Latvian Latvijas Day. That's not ours. That's like casual day in the office for us. Okay, so we have bankas, us ending. So here you can just basically remember the same endings when we were learning iš kur tu esi. Aš esu iš Kauno, gyvenu prie banko. Darželis, kindergarten, gyvenu prie darželio. Panevėžys, fourth biggest city, gyvenu prie Panevėžio. These two, I always say, are sister endings. When we decline them, they're going to be identical, most of the table. Ambasada, embassy, gyvenu prie ambasados. Canada, Kanados. Ambasada, ambasados, same endings. Kavinė, cafe. Gyvenu prie kavinės. Kavinė, kavinės. Gyvenu prie kavinės. That prie is crucial. And sometimes people start confusing locative case and this case. I mean, they both kind of help you describe the location. But a good thing, especially if it's an exercise where you have to recognize which one is which, locative will never have any prie-ish next to it. It's always going alone without any prepositions there. Turgus, the market. Gyvenu prie turgaus. Turgus, gyvenu prie turgaus. Now we learned Vilnius, remember? Now imagine that this was Vilnius instead of Turgus. Gyvenu prie Vilniaus. I live next to Vilnius. So like, aš gyvenu ne Vilniuje. I don't live in Vilnius. Aš gyvenu prie Vilniaus. I live close to Vilnius, next to Vilnius. And then we have this new one, a new type of nouns. The feminine nouns usually stressed on is. Stotis, so station. Pilis, castle. Pilnatis, full moon. So it's usually we stress the last syllable on these, and like if you come across it, that's when it's feminine. If you are lucky to hear it in nominative. So stotis, and like I live next to the station, railway station, bus station. Gyvenu prie stoties. Now there in the book there was an exercise where we have to recognize it, and I wanted to start with that one because I think it's good to first see how it looks, both of them together, and then you kind of like can already, yeah, this is the one. Then you kind of like already, it's easier to practice yourself when you already recognize them. Okay, so here we have an exercise and we have 3 options and one of them is right. So for example, Lietuva, Lietuvos, Lietuvoje. And then aš esu iš, and with ish, remember we use Lietuvos, os endings, those o, os, es, and we are learning es or os, so these endings. Number 2, jie gyvena Kaune, Kaunas, Kauno. Which one is the right one?
Kauno.
Ne. In Kaunas, not next to Kaunas, no prie, nothing. Yeah?
Kaune.
Taip, jie gyvena Kaune. Then let's say, where is the bookstore? This is a trick question. This is not gonna be genitive or locative here. Kur yra
knygynas?
Taip, kur yra knygynas? Where's the bookstore? Where's the bookshop? Then we have Vilnius Street. The bank is in Vilnius Street. Bankas yra Vilniaus
Gatvė 5.
Gatvėje. In the street. So I will say it in English so you get the idea. If I say next to or by the, then you say o or ish. Where are you from? O endings like these. O, is, and so on. If I say in English, then you say yeah, or yeah, yeah, and so on. And if it's like just like where is something like, and then it's just gonna be as the base form. Okay, we are studying at the university. Mes studijuojame.
Mes studijuojame universitete.
Taip. We are studying at the university. 6. She works at school or in school. Ji dirba.
Mokykloje.
Mokykloje. Yeah, she works at school. Labai gerai. 7. Jie gyvena prie, so they live by the, next to.
Mokyklos.
Mokyklos. Yeah, jie gyvena prie mokyklos. And if it's like we want to say that some kids or teachers are working over like too much and like jie gyvena mokykloje, they live in school. You know, they don't leave. They're always there. Then we have my colleague is from Tallinn. Kolega yra iš. Ne, from, not in.
Tallinno.
Yeah, iš Tallinno. If it was Tallinne, it's in Tallinn. He's in Tallinn right now, but here he's from. Yeah, you see, it's a bit. We will have to practice. Okay, Milda is at work right now. Milda dabar yra at work.
Darbe.
Darbe. Milda dabar yra darbe. She's at work. She's in there. If you say, well, basically, if you want to use all like these endings, Kauno, knygyno, gatvės, universiteto, mokyklos, Talino, darbo, upės, aikštės, stoties. They always have to have some ish, prie. They cannot go on their own in a sentence like that where you describe something. It's ish, from somewhere, or next to something, not in. So if you don't, then it's gonna be oye, yeah, so that means in there. For example, next one actually is, she lives by the river. She lives next to the river. Ji gyvena prie.
Prie upės.
Taip, she lives by the river. If you say ji gyvena upėje, she lives in the river. Unless she's a mermaid. That doesn't make sense. Even though like in Užupis we have this mermaid statue, she does not live in the river. She's by the river. Okay, then we have the restaurant is Vienybės square, in Vienybės square. So in that square. And we don't have any
Vienybės aikštėje.
Taip, aikštėje. If we don't have any prie, ish, then it's, in this case, like if it's a location, it's going to be yeah, or yeah, and so on. And then we have the hotel is next to the station. Viešbutis. Taip, labai gerai. Viešbutis yra prie stoties. It's next to the station. Now we have another exercise to practice here. So, as you can see, we have two ways to say. Jie gyvena, they live in, or they live next to. So, like, for example, they are not, like, from that city, but let's say, you know, they're from a small town and they don't believe that people will know where they're from. Happens to me a lot as I'm from Vilnius, and people from small towns always somehow try to describe where some biggest city like or town possible next to them, because they're used to that Vilniusians, you know, they're like center of the world, you know, the capital people. Ji gyvena prie, she lives next to. Now I will give you some time, 10 minutes, but you know, like always, you just add a little plus. I want you to write that down. So these are Lithuanian cities. So prie ir gyvena. So basically next to and in. And you can use your grammar file for Where is it? Yeah, location. Yeah, location, you have locative case endings, and then you have prie plus genitive construction. It's in the tab. I will again post the link in case you want to take a look at it while doing the exercise. Okay, so 10 minutes, but if you finish early, just let me know. Okay. So I see two of you are ready. Yuris, what about you?
Yeah, I just was writing and I'm now
Yeah.
I misplaced the
Okay.
which is first and which is second one
Yeah.
to put it back.
Yeah, it happens.
But
Okay, so we had
I
je
think
gyvena prie, je gyvena.
these
Gyvena Vilniaus, je gyvena Vilniuje. So next to Vilnius versus in Vilnius. Panevėžys, Alexei, Ji gyvena prie, jie gyvena, both endings.
Sorry, I was muted. Ji gyvena prie Panevėžio, jie gyvena Panevėžyje.
Taip, gerai. Jun, Klaipėda.
Sorry. Ji gyvena prie Klaipėdos, jie gyvena Klaipėdoje.
Puikiai, taip, labai gerai. Juris, Kaunas.
Ji gyvena prie Kauno.
Taip, gerai.
Jie gyvena Kaune.
Labai gerai. Taip, Aleksej, Alytus.
Ji gyvena prie Alytaus.
Taip.
Jie gyvena Alytuje.
Labai gerai. Taip. Jun, Vievis.
Ji gyvena prie Vievies.
Vievio. This is this is usually, unless I give you like some attention just for the future because it's a new ending. Unless I ask you to pay attention, it's gonna be masculine and it's gonna be ending. So this is
Vieve.
Vieve.
But so the S is not pronounced at all?
No, it's masculine. So we have two is endings. Okay, I'm writing in chat. So one of them is masculine. Is changes to
okay, yeah.
And then I will always give you some heads up if it's that rest, the one that appears less is feminine. Es, also that's feminine. The other one.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So ji gyvena prie Vievio.
Taip.
Ji gyvena Vievije.
Taip, gerai, teisingai. Gerai. Juris, Kernavė.
Ji gyvena prie Kernavės. Ji gyvena Kernavėje.
Taip, puikiai, yeah. Kernavė is this place, it's our old capital, very old capital. It is believed to be. They have amazing archaeological museum if anyone is interested in these hills that are nice to take a walk to. And also a celebrity cat whose name is Naglis. Literally means like he has audacity, audacious cat. So they have a celebrity cat. They have these former castle hills and so basically gifted little town. Although it's like, unless you have a car, I have to say it's pretty tricky to get there from Vilnius. Like you have to really plan your day. Okay, so we're coming to an end. Before I speak about Užgavėnės, I will show you the homework. So homework will be one part, I will give you a song and she will be, it's a funny song with a funny story. So basically it's like, call me if you're sad. And it has she sings digits, like she is singing phone number. And I will ask you to write down the phone number in Arabic numbers or because you will hear it in Lithuanian and she repeats it multiple times over the song. But it's funny because basically when that song was released, people got confused and actually started calling that number. And apparently there was somebody with that number. So they were very confused the release week. What's going on? Why suddenly this mass of unknown numbers calling? So the homework will be this exercise. So we have this objects, this sort of a map, I don't know, like an image of landscape or cityscape of the city. And I will ask you to write as many as you can sentences. Let's say, for example, bankas yra prie muziejaus. Bankas yra prie muziejaus. So object and what it is next to. And try to write as many as you can and have time for just for practice. And this next time, I think I will give you some exercises where we can practice more the muscle memory for these, prie and when it's locative case, because it usually ends up being confusing for people, and that's understanding. Then I will give you listening, and this is again with numerals. This can be a bit tricky. Basically, they're gonna be number like these sequences, and you have to write the missing ones. And then you have this like when they're like talking and giving their phone numbers or saying their address, and you have to write them down. So this will be for homework then. And for today, so basically this week is very eventful in Lithuania. First, we had Lietuvos nepriklausomybės diena, so the Independence Day. That was yesterday, vakar, yesterday. Today we have, on one hand, Lietuvos moterų emancipacijos diena, because supposedly, because 20 men signed our Act of Independence, and they were like some ladies that actually put in the work also into making this happen. They were just not elected into Council of Lithuania. They had a little protest on that day, so as a result, we celebrate like these ladies that were independent and educated, and they were like also working for Lithuania to become independent. And also we have Užgavėnes. And Užgavėnes, I will show you some pictures. So Užgavėnes is like people dress up like these guys. So as scary as like kind of for Halloween. Also like not without scandals, like like some traditions where like they dress as local ethnic groups or something like that, and then we have discussions like is this okay? Like I feel uncomfortable about it. But also they dress like all kinds of mythological creatures. And the thing about it is that basically we try to chase the winter away. So we stand around like a bonfire that is usually like in the shape of a witch at the stake, and we sing Žiema, žiema, bėk iš kiemo. Winter, winter, run away, run, like leave the yard. Yeah, and we dance around, stand around it. Sometimes we also write whatever happened in winter or last year that we did not like and we want to leave behind. We write it on the paper and we put it in that fire and let it burn and leave it behind. Yeah, and every year when winter is taking its sweet time to come, and we're having endless autumn, there's always a recirculating joke that maybe we were too harsh in winter and now it doesn't want to come back, because why would it be? We hate it. And then we don't have snow and it's sad. And then we also have the big fist fight, or this sort of like competition, which is Kanapinis, who represents spring. Kanape is hemp. And then Lašininis, which is like this sort of fat, like that you get from meat, and it represents winter. And they have a fight. And of course, everyone's rooting for Kanapinis, because if Kanapinis wins, it means that spring is already officially here. If Lašininis wins, it means we have to wait. The spring is still not here. Another tradition is because, that's already mixed with Christian traditions, that we start fasting until Easter. And as a result, we eat lots of pancakes, blini. We eat lots of pancakes, all kinds of. Some are made in waffle pan, like in some regions. Some are like just potato pancakes, all kinds of pancakes. Some with yeast, all kinds of recipes come to the, on the stage. And the idea is that we have to eat as much as we fill. So, when we're fasting, we don't see any trouble. We don't feel bad, like now it's time to prepare. And then we also have a tradition, also kind of like Halloween. But I noticed that kids don't do this anymore these days. But when I was a kid, I remember that there was a tradition that kids would also dress up as these scary creatures, all kinds of scary creatures, like that are supposed to terrify you. And they would go door to door to neighbors and they would ask for pancakes. So whichever pancakes you made, you have to share with them, and coffee. So like imagine like a little kiddo, like 9 years old or something, dressed as this like sort of devil coming to your door and asking for pancakes and coffee. And they would also have like a little like riddle that they would say to you, like, and you're supposed to give them those pancakes and you have to give them coffee. I don't know if they would, maybe that's the coffee part that it died out these days, but like that used to be like the thing that you're supposed to ask, like, please give us pancakes and give us coffee. Yeah. So yeah, these are like our costumes. This is our Halloween. And kind of like when you think of it, correlates with like in many cultures, spring as in New Year, when like we start over. And that's like užgavėnes. I remember making sort of these like costumes. It's kind of fun and it's actually terrifying sometimes the way it turns out. Yeah. So this is today. It's called užgavėnes, and gavėnia is the period between today and Easter. So basically the fasting period. And it's always Tuesday, last Tuesday of February. Or like not necessarily last Tuesday, but basically like the period, like it overlaps with Christian traditions nowadays. But yeah, so that's today's traditions. That is it for today. Viskas. I hope I did not terrify you too much. Like, don't look into it. Anything that's already above us, that's anxiety for tomorrow. Let's focus one day by day, and like yeah, it was. Thank you for good work. Ačiū už gerą darbą, and see you next week. Iki.
Iki, ačiū Jums.
Iki.
Ačiū. Iki.
Okay.